So yeah, hello. If you're just joining me right now, this is Coach Maiden. Today I'm live. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So if you can hear me, please give me some thumbs up. If you're on Facebook and you can hear me, make sure you can give me some thumbs up so that we can get this show going, right? Um, yeah. So today, as you can see today, it's about finance and relationships, right? It's about finance and relationships. So I have two lives, guys. I have my Instagram and I'm live on Facebook. So guys on Facebook, if you can hear me very well, just give me those hearts, those likes, so that I know that all my technology is working, right? So yeah, so it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I went live, and I know like a lot of people be like, "Oh, Coach Maiden, what have you been up to?" Right? A lot of people will be asking that, right? Like, what have you been up to? So anyway, if you can hear me, thank you. Today we were talking about finance and relationships, right? A lot of people, when you think about it, right, it's a very tricky topic, right? When you meet somebody and then you have to start asking about finances, right? Um, what do you do, right? How do you start that conversation, and how do you even know that you are getting ahead with somebody? You're going to be with somebody, right? So, guys, like I said, I have two lives. I have one on Instagram and Facebook. So if you can hear me on Facebook, let me know. Just give me some thumbs up if you can hear me very loud and clear. I know Instagram is working. So hi guys on Instagram, Facebook. So yeah, we're talking about finance and relationships, right? A lot of people, especially if you live in North America, right? The most common reasons why people break up, it's because of finances, right? A lot of people break up because of money problems. Why? Right? Why? Oh, guys, before I go with the show, my show is sponsored by LCC Media um, and Ladies Corner Foundation. So yeah, so someone sponsoring my show. Thank you. So if you want to be a sponsor, let me know. But anyway, so a lot of people, right? They break up because of finances, right? Most of the time, it's because they're not making enough money, right? And sometimes you feel like, okay, you're dating somebody and you feel like you're tippy-toeing into a relationship where, like, okay, you know what, should I go ask my husband or my wife for money for an allowance because you're not making enough, right? So those topics sometimes they make your relationship bumpy, right? So today I'm going to be able to educate you on that topic. So stay with me here. Stay with me. And if you have any comments, don't hesitate. I'm gonna be going back on Instagram and then on Facebook. So if you have any comments, anything you want to add uh, on this topic, hey, interact with me. Come on, interact with me, right? Someone on Instagram said, honestly, finances can cause breakup if not handled very well, right? I think people should date from their league. How do you know, right? These are comments from Instagram. So how do you know you're dating your league if you haven't even strike up a conversation about finances, right? Um, so finances is the root of all problems. Having less money, guys. So today I'm going to be able to coach you a little bit about how you can handle those questions to your partner. And guys, you know what? I'm always here, even myself as a coach. I'm always here to learn, to be able to educate myself too. So if you have something to add, make sure you throw it in the comments, and I can be able to read it. And that way, you know what, we can share each other's opinions. So your opinions are very welcome here, and I'm always learning. So breaking up because of finances. When we grew up, right? If you think about it, when you were young, how many times have you guys on the kitchen table, your mom or your dad ever brought up finances in your household? When I grew up myself, we never really talk about money, right? The reason why is because it was never really Shelly, thank you. Your phone is dying. I really wanted to join. Thank you. You can always rewatch this later. Don't worry. I'm gonna save the video. You can rewatch later. So on the kitchen table, especially in an African household. Let's talk about African household. How many times have you ever sat down with your parents and actually talk about finances, right? Because most of the time, finance is never been brought up on the kitchen table. Why? Because most of the time, it's people keep it secret. Like your parents, they keep that secret. Like you don't know how much they pay for electricity. You don't know how much they pay for rent or mortgage. You don't know all that because it was kept like as a secret, right? So you want to be able to right now, like as our generation, you want to be able to strike those conversations with your kids. The reason why you need to strike those conversations with your kids is because they will understand that money is something you should talk about. You should feel comfortable talking about money because we are going to use money the rest of our lives. And I think that if we're going to use that the rest of our lives, we should be able to be comfortable to talk about it. Back home, they always used to say that money is the root of all evil, right? And we grew up hearing that. If you have too much money, you have too much problems. Right? I believe that money just it doesn't take all your problems away, but you can show up in a suit to deal with your problems, right? That's what I believe. But anyway, guys, so be able to talk with your partner about finances. And most of the time, like here's the thing. When you get in a relationship, for women, I'm going to talk to my women on the show right now, right? When your man doesn't have a job or your man is feeling that, what he cannot provide for you financially, because most of the time when you are dating somebody, you want to be able to look at the person and say, hey, can you be able to provide or to give me security, right? Most women, they're looking for security. Can you be able to provide for me as a woman or for me when I have a family? Would you be able to do that as a man? So when a man is failing to do that, when your man is failing to do that, right, it's going to mess with his self-esteem, with his ego, right? So when that happens, you want to be able to try to be not as in like sugarcoat it, but when you go approach your man about finances, right? You want to be able to go approach him in a way where like you can understand both, not like attacking each other, right? And for my man, right? Like I said, your ego, right? When it comes to money, you feel that when your woman comes to you and say, "Hey, there's no money in this house today," do you get yourself in self-defense mode? Or do you look at yourself and say, what is it that I need to do to make sure that I can provide, I can be their provider in this house, right? Do you do that, right? Don't go into defense mode, especially in relationships. And someone said, when and what are stages do you ask about his finance status? I love that. Yeah, Lisa. When do you ask? Right? When do you ask about financial status? Like, hey, you know what? How much money do you make? Right? You want to be able to ask that like for me, if you're dating, if in the dating stage, you want to be able to ask that kind of question maybe on your second date, right? You want to be able to ask because if you don't know, what if someone is about to leech on you and you don't even know, right? It happens, especially in the day and age we're living right now. You can meet somebody who just wanna, benefit from somebody else. It happens, right? So you want to be able to be comfortable to talk about finances, because the reason why you are together, I know that a lot of people be like, oh, you know what? I'm with my man or I'm with my wife because I love them. That's great. Love is really great, but you cannot eat love. So you still have to strike up those conversations. As much as you don't want to bring them up, you still have to strike those conversations and say, hey, you know what? What are we looking at? Do you have goals? And the other way you can strike up those conversations is just, hey, babe, you know what? Let's talk about our goals. Let's talk about where we want to be in the next 3 to 5 years, right? Based on those goals, based on somebody's mindset, you can tell whether this person is going places or this person is not going anywhere, right? You can be able to tell based on those goals and say, you know what, I'm with a person. And the other thing is, you want to look at, do your goals align with the person you are dating? Do those goals align with that person? Because the problem is that most people, all they're dating is the sake of dating. Yes, I love him. He's my everything. But we still have to be able to have those conversations with your partner about money. So I don't know if I answered your question. So you want to be able to, oh, sorry guys, on Instagram. Sorry. I don't know why my phone is, give me a second here. Sorry guys, just fix my phone on Instagram. Okay. I think it's good now. Okay. So guys, yeah. So you want to be able to talk about those problems. If he's not financial, does your finances be aligned to marriage? Here's the thing, if you're always fighting about finances, or if you're always fighting with your boyfriend because you spend $20, or if you're always asking that, hey babe, I need money for hair, I need money to do my hair, or I need this or whatever, right? Yes, your goals have to align, right, for you to be able to marry somebody. Because when you marry somebody, you're building an empire together. You guys are saying, okay, you know what? This is what I believe, right? The reason why you would go find somebody, a partner, is to make your life a little bit easier with somebody. Get what I'm saying? The reason why you will be with somebody, you want to make your life a little bit easier. You don't want someone to come in your life and make your life harder than it was when you're by yourself. Right? So yes, the goals have to align. Even if the goals don't align, but you must be able to have a little bit of same values, looking at the same way, like, hey, you know what? We want to be somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years. Right? So you should be able to have that conversation without feeling like you are overstepping into your partner's privacy, without even, when you feel like, oh, you know what? I'm stepping into my partner's privacy because I'm asking him or her about my finances. You need that conversation. If you say, okay, you know what, we're planning to have kids, right? Most people are like, oh, you know what, how many kids do you want to have? I want to have 2 kids. Great. Are we thinking of buying a house? Right? You got to ask those questions. If you don't ask those questions, that's when you find yourself in failed relationships so many times, that you're putting yourself through stress, which you can avoid. If you find yourself here with somebody where you say, okay, you know what, this person, every time I bring up money, they change the topic, or they get angry. Have you ever bring a topic about money with somebody and they get mad? Like you insulted them. They get so mad, right? You don't have to feel that way. When you bring up a topic about money with your partner, they shouldn't feel like you're attacking them, right? And the other time is like, like I said, don't play the blame game where you blame one another. Like, oh, you know what? The reason why we don't have money is because you're spending so much, right? So remember, the goals have to align. And women are always looking for security, right? They're looking for security. Can you provide? Can you do something for me, right? There's a question here on Facebook. If he's not financially stable, should you proceed with a relationship, right? Here's the thing. Women, they fall in love with potential. The potential of being somebody in life, but the potential of making sure that tomorrow you can be able to take care of her and the kids, right? Remember, women love you because of the potential you bring and the security you bring to the table. So as a man, you should be able to say, okay, look, what is it that I need to do? Right? What is it that I need to do? What do you bring to the table as a man? Yes, you might not be where you want to be right now, right? You might not be where you want to be right now, but do you have a plan to go there, to be able to work so that you can actually reach that goal, whatever that is, right? So you should be able to, if he's not financially stable, should you proceed with the relationship? The answer is yes and no on that one. It's a yes and no, right? One, if the person is actually, if you can approach him and talk about it and try to build each other, that's great. Then you can proceed. But if you try to bring up a conversation about money and then he gets angry, oh my, why are you getting angry when I bring up money? It's not like I insulted you. So make sure that when you bring up this topic, whether your wife gets angry when you bring up about, hey, babe, you're spending too much money, right? maybe there's overspending somewhere there, right? They should be able to take that as a compliment. When someone hits you with a nugget of gold, right? When someone comes and attack you and say, hey, you know what, babe, I think that you're overspending, so you should be able to take that and reevaluate, why is my partner feeling this way, right? So you should be able to bring that in perspective when you're actually approaching your partner about finances. A lot of people get defensive. Okay. What was this? Okay. In all honesty, I feel both should play a part. Yes, right? Yes, because the thing is, what you have to understand is that when you have a woman, right? So most of the time, when I grew up back in the day, the 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 man is the provider, is the breadwinner, is the guy who goes to work and makes sure that he brings in cash, right? The man was the breadwinner, and the women used to stay home and taking care of the kids and everything. But hear me out, right? When the woman is sitting at home taking care of the kids, making sure that the house is running 24/7, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work that women do, that which is not being acknowledged, right? Just because the woman is sitting at home taking care of everything, when you come from work and if you have a cooked meal, that's work. Women actually work more than men, right? Because if you think about, they're running on the clock, taking care of kids, they're running on the clock, right? So if you think about it, they're really actually working more than men, right? Some men, they actually go to work for a couple hours, 8, 9 hours, and you come home and you relax, watch football, right? So they're actually working more. So yes, it's equal, because the woman, they bring that value, saying, you know what, when my husband comes from work, there should be food on the table. But most of the time, that's some of those things are not being acknowledged, right? Say, oh, you sit at home, do no, 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 pull back, right? Pull back, right? So those are the things, whatever, right? So it is both way. Everyone should play a part. And the other thing is that on men, my guys who are watching this, whether on Facebook or Instagram, right? Do you feel that you're intimidated when you are dating a woman who's independent, right? Do you feel that you get intimidated when you date an independent woman, a woman who have her own stuff, a woman who can take care of her own? Do you feel intimidated, right? A lot of people feel that, most guys, right, they feel like, oh, you know what, if my wife makes more money than I do, then, yeah, like, I'm gonna feel intimidated. I'm gonna feel like you belittle me. My ego is gonna be like shielded, right? It's common, right? And it's okay, because if you think about it, if your wife makes more than you do, right, you have someone to fall back on. If something doesn't go very well, hey babe, you know what? Can you help me this month on doing this, right? Can you help me so that I can be able to pay these bills? Can you help me so that I can be able to do this, right? So it's always I always say, like, you know what, don't feel intimidated. And the other thing, guys, let me say this. I know I'm going to touch a little bit of people. Maybe somebody who does this. Maybe you are somebody who does this. I'm going to tell you, you need to change, right? So if you're with a partner and then you feel jealousy, there's nothing annoying by dating someone who's jealousy of you, right? And it's, a lot of people don't talk about it. Most people are scared to talk about it, right? Dating somebody who's jealousy of your success, dating somebody who says, you know what, hey, yeah, like, you gotta cut it, right? You gotta fly. If you gotta fly and you feel that your partner is being jealousy of you, then you're in the wrong relationship, sweetheart. You are in the wrong relationship. So look at, does my partner support me in everything I do? And the other thing with women, even if you're men, so a lot of men, they come with ideas, things they want to do, with their life. Like, hey, you know what? I want to be able to open a business like this, and your woman be looking at you like, I don't see him doing that. I don't see him doing that. You think of that, right? You think of that in your mind. You say, I don't see my husband opening $1 million company, or I don't see my husband being that. Even if you don't see it, don't discourage that person. Don't discourage your partner to go after their dreams just because you don't see it, right? The reason why the vision was put in their mind is because they have, God put that vision in their mind, right? I felt intimidated. I was the breadwinner, so the point you become abusive. Yes, it happens, right? So like I said, some guys they feel intimidated. So whether on Facebook, on Instagram, some people they feel intimidated when you make a lot of money. So make sure that you don't want to date somebody who's actually hating that you're succeeding. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to be dating. Imagine dating someone who is being intimidated, or who hate the fact that you are actually succeeding more than they are, right? So mush, yes, right? It happens. And then the other thing is, like she said, it might turn into abusive, where you are making more than your man, right? And then he become abusive to you. It happens. It might happen, right? So one of those things, right? Wow, guys, wow, this is this is a heated topic. I love talking about finances because we shouldn't feel intimidated when we talk about our finances. We shouldn't feel that you cannot bring finances on your kitchen table. So guys, recapping this topic, right? Because you are in a relationship with somebody, your life has to become a little bit easier, if you know what I mean, right? And because your woman makes more money than you do, doesn't mean you have to be abusive, or you have to feel some type of way, or you have to be a hater, right? So those are the things you have to look at. There's signs you look for in a relationship, and the faster you can be able to have conversation with your partner about finances, the better you're going to be. In our culture, a man should be a provider, but in the century, we need to adapt to situations. Yes, right? Yes, that's right. Right? A lot of people have to adapt, and a lot of people are still living in 1999. We're in 2021, right? And talking about finances in your relationship shouldn't be something you should be scared about. Whether you're dating for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 10 years, you should be able to be comfortably be able to be open about the way you feel about money. And sometimes maybe, a lot of people are like, a coach Maiden, how do I bring it up to my partner in such a way where I don't insult him, where I don't belittle him, right? Because if you don't bring it up, it's going to hurt you in the long term. It will hurt you long term. So you have to bring that conversation with your partner about money. So another way you can bring it up just bring it up. The way you bring it up is you go and start educating yourself about money. You educate you about how you can handle your money, and you start doing how you start working on yourself so that you can be a better money manager. You can manage your money better. You can look at your budget better, right? So what happens is that attracts your partner to want to do better, right? It's just like if you go in a house which is clean, you're not going to walk in a house which is clean with dirty shoes. You're going to have respect and say, oh man, this house is clean, let me remove my shoes, right? So you want to be able to educate you. It always starts with you. It always starts with you, right? It always starts in the mind. So maybe you are not where you want to be right now. Maybe you're not where you want to be financially. You say, you know what, man, 2021 was not the year for me. Things were not working well. We all know that there's COVID-19. A lot of things are happening in 2021. And you say, you know what, I really want to change my financial future. I want 2022 to be the year where I can actually say, you know what, I can breathe. right? And the reason why I'm bringing this up, it falls down in the same finance and relationship topic, because the reason why is this. When you don't have money right now, right? I'll tell you a story. When you don't have money right now, that's when you should actually start looking at strategies, put those strategies in place so that when you have money, those strategies already, that foundation is already built. You know what I'm saying? So one, start making a habit of paying yourself. Every single person, whether you're on Facebook or on Instagram, every single person who's on my live right now, you have a last name. Make it a habit to start paying yourself first. Before you go on Amazon, before you go buy nails, before you go put your own makeup, right? Pay yourself. Even if it means that you're going to pay yourself $20 a month and say, this is for me. This money is for me, for all the hard work I do. This is for me, not for anybody else, but for you, for waking up every single morning. If you make that a habit, when you get money, you'll be able to actually pay yourself more. That's going to increase your self-worth. That's going to increase your the way you feel. When you don't have any money. I'll tell you this. There was a point in my life where I had like 20 cents in my bank account. Things were tough, right? No money. You don't even feel like working. One of my mentors always say this, Coach Maiden, money is like oxygen. If you don't have it, it's hard to breathe. Money ranks up there with oxygen. If you don't have it, it's hard to breathe. So if you don't have any money, it's really hard. It's hard to even go to bed. You'll be really stressed, about money. Building lives together is the way to go. We need to stop having expectations whereby you don't bring something to the table. Work together. I love that. Thank you for that comment, right? So money ranks up there. Money ranks up there with oxygen. If you don't have it, it's hard to breathe. It's really hard, right? It's really hard to be motivated when you're broke. It's really, really hard. It's tough, right? It's tough. Trust me. I've been there, right? But now, right? Now, it hasn't been the best time to be alive. This is the best time to be alive because you're watching this on Facebook and Instagram and you're on my live today. It's your lucky day today. I'm going to give you a tip, right? Start paying yourself. Start looking at yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to make it a goal. I'm going to make it a goal that every single month I pay myself, even if it means $20. And keep that promise to yourself. And say, you know what? I'm going to pay myself $20 every single month. Keep that promise to yourself. You won't regret it. Because that's going to start that compounding, whatever. And don't just put that money in a savings account. Try to make sure that you get some rate of return on your money. Start investing little by little. Start doing something. It will never happen if you don't start. That's the sad truth. And the reason why, the reason you're watching this today, and this is the thing, it's cheaper to start today. I'll tell you this: it's very, very cheap for you to do something, to take action and just say, you know what? Every single month, I'm gonna pay my last name. Right? Whether you're in a relationship or not, you should be able to make it a habit so that you can pay yourself every single time. Say, you know what? I'm gonna put $20 for me, for you, so that when I get older, I'm gonna lean on this. But you have to do it today. It's cheap today. And the sad news is that the good news is you make the price. The sad news is that the longer you wait, the higher the price goes, and no one knows how much it's going to be tomorrow. But you want to take action on how you can handle your finances. Whether you're in a relationship, have you ever dated somebody? And the other thing is, look at the people you're dating, right? Look at the people you're dating. Sorry, guys. Look at the people you're dating, right? Oh, sorry, guys. So yeah, so look at the people you're dating and say, hey, look, Do you feel comfortable to talk about your finances together? Do you feel that you are where you are supposed to be financially? Right? If not, it's time to reevaluate. It's time to look at it. It's time to say, you know what? Today I'm gonna make a change. I heard this saying before. You're one decision away from a total different life. But the question is, what is that decision? Right? It's never too late to start. You can do it now. Right? That's amazing. It's never too late to start. So whether you're thinking of saving money, you're thinking of investing, you're thinking of that side hustle, whatever that is you're thinking, you know, don't let fear stop you. Just because you're afraid of the unknown. You know, when I was in high school, we used to be afraid to approach a girl. Very scared to approach somebody. It's the fear of saying, yo, what if I get rejected? What if? What if I get rejected? What if it works? What if she says yes? We never thought of it that way. So human behavior, we actually, we think of the negative. We're more thinking about the negative. What could go wrong? But what if it goes right? Right? So always look at ways where you can enhance your finances wherever you are. There's always a room for the best. Always look at what is it that I need to do so that I can fuel myself. And when you start investing, when you start paying yourself first, right? When you start paying yourself first, you're gonna start feeling, even when you keep a promise to yourself, you're gonna feel better when you wake up in the morning and say, hey, you know what? I'm happy that I paid myself. I'm happy that I actually kept a promise to myself. You can lie to everybody else, but you know who you cannot lie to? Is yourself, because you go to bed with you. And it's time for you to step up in your relationship. If you're dating somebody today, it's time for you to step up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do something better with my money. I'm going to do something better with the way I handle myself. And the thing is, you know, it's funny for those guys in Zimbabwe. Have you ever noticed in Zimbabwe when there's a function, whether it's a funeral, a wedding, some big function in your household, they don't make decisions until the guy with money shows up. Have you ever noticed that? I noticed that. There was one, my mom used to be okay, and my uncles. So no one will make a decision. And the guy who's poor, the poorest, whatever, cousin, family member, if they try to bring something with, even with sense, like they're actually speaking sense, because they don't have money, they don't take their opinion, right? It happens because you don't have money. So which means your voice can never be heard. So when you start taking care of yourself, and when you start looking at yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to pay myself first tomorrow morning when I wake up. I'm going to pay me. Yes, you pay electricity, you pay all these things, you go do your nails, you're paying other people. But when did you pay yourself? So guys in the comments, whether you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram, just say yes. Do you pay yourself? Or yes or no? Have you ever thought of paying yourself? Right? Whether on Instagram, Facebook, have you ever thought of paying yourself? Have you ever thought of paying yourself? Right? Guys on Facebook, maybe I don't see your comments sometimes. So have you ever thought of paying yourself? That's the question, guys. Have you ever thought the thought of just paying yourself? Right? Have you ever thought of paying yourself? So you have to think about it. Look at ways where you can start paying yourself. Look at ways where you can actually start enhancing your financial IQ. And never ever feel guilty about paying yourself. I don't feel guilty. No, right? Why not? Why you never thought of it? But you are doing the amazing work. You are waking up every single morning, but you never really think of paying yourself. You have to pay yourself. So think about it that way. Always look at ways where you can learn and educate yourself. Always look at ways where you can enhance your finances. always look at what is it that you need to do to make sure that you are there financially. And like I said, if you need help with financial coaching, anything like that, reach out to me, right? You can reach out to me, and we can talk about it. We can see ways where we can help you. As a financial coach, I always want to help other people to make better financial decisions, to be able to say, you know what, I start paying myself, right? Yeah, so guys, I want to thank you guys for spending tonight. I'm going to be doing a show every single Friday, so that I can educate you on other topics. If you have any topic you want me to bring on, which falls under finance and relationship, let me know. You can always DM me. I'm just a DM away, right? Send me a message. I'll try to reply as much as I can. But until next time, guys, I want to thank you. You guys on Instagram, thank you so much. I want to thank LCC Media for giving me a platform to be able to share my knowledge with you. And always stay blessed, stay safe. There's COVID out there, but you always have to stay safe. Thank you, guys. Until next time.